Hello folks, welcome to episode 8 of our Dragon Quest XI walkthrough series, and today we're going to be heading through to the Mangle Grove. So we're starting off in the foothills area, and just before we head through to the Mangle Grove there's an item we can grab. It's a sparkly just by the exit here, so we'll pick that up. A sleeping hibiscus, and then we can actually make our way into the next area. If we can avoid the enemies, that is. So when we head through into the Mangle Grove, there's going to be new enemies for us to handle. Though none of them are all that challenging, if I'm being honest with you. But hey, we'll be having a change around, so that's nice in and of itself, I guess. Before we go any further, we'll see a merchant here. And I'm just going to see what he's got available, because there's one item we could actually do with. So we'll just see if it's something he sells, and I'll mention it if it is. Yes, the antidotal herb. I've got 3 already. They're only 10 gold each. But I recommend stocking up on a few if you can, because some of the enemies here do actually inflict the party members with poison. So if you can actually just purchase a few of those, then that will help you on your way for sure. And I'm just going to sell some stuff as well that I'm not using. Okay, so I've just gone ahead and sold some rubbish there. Hopefully I won't need it, just some old equipment and stuff. So we're going to make our way into the opening area here. There might be some items for us to grab as well, so I'm just going to have a look around. We can also kill some of the enemies. Obviously that's not going to be a problem. As I said, they're not too challenging, and it's good to gain some experience as well. So I'll have a look around for some loot, and I'll let you know what I find. Okay, so if we just, from the, where we first entered here, head down a little bit to this pillar that's sticking out of the ground, this stone pillar, we can find a sparkly on the floor, which is worth grabbing. And then we're going to continue on down south in order to make our way across the river and into the next part of the area. At least that's the general plan, if I can actually get on this thing. Yeah, there we go. I'm not going to fight too many enemies on screen, but I don't recommend skipping battles because obviously the experience and the gold is useful. Right, so a little bit further down here we can head over to the left, to the east on the map, and go through a fairly linear section which is going to culminate, hopefully, in us grabbing an item over here. So we'll climb up this ledge, and this next one. And this next one. Lots of ledge climbing in this section. Right, so first of all there's a sparkly thing here. Harvesting plants. So we'll pick that up. Some more antidotal herbs, which is never a bad thing. And then more importantly, over here on the edge there's a chest containing, I believe, another mini medal. So I haven't spoken a whole lot about mini medals as of yet, because there's nothing we can do with them, but I do recommend that you grab them, because later on there will be something we can do with them. We can use them to purchase some quite nice items actually, including some equipment that we'll want to get. So the more we get now, the better, so we won't have to come back to them later on. So yeah, make sure you are keeping on top of the mini medals that we're collecting, and you will be rewarded for doing so, as I say, later on. Right then, so let's head back. I've just killed a few enemies and managed to level my hero to level 9, which taught him the evac spell. And the evac spell is going to be useful as we go through the game. It allows you to return to the start of a dungeon. So if you're struggling in an emergency, you can get back to the start where it's nice and safe. There's a sparkly here, which is what I wanted to show you before we continue to head down south into the next area. And it looks like I can just see another sparkly over on the other side. Can I? Through the plants? Yes. So we'll pick that up as well. And we've got a new enemy type here. I've not seen this one before. Let's see what they're about, shall we? I've currently... oh, I love the enemy design in this game. I've currently got my tactics set to just automatic fighting. Saves me having to do anything. Okay, well, we was in pep state, so the enemy didn't last long. The lips. Right, so we'll keep going down south. And there is a campsite down here where we're going to have a brief cutscene, followed by unlocking an interesting new feature. So I'm not going to say anything else at the moment. Let's watch.
Look at that! A campsite! And just when we needed one. Still a fair way to cobblestone. Let's rest up for the night. I still can't get over old Dirk. He didn't just go straight, married, shop in the best part of town. He went straighter than straight. Just like that. We used to be thick as thieves. Literally. We'd travel the world, always on the hunt for loot. Those were the days. Oh, speaking of which, I just thought of something we acquired back then that might come in handy. Yep, I've decided. I'm giving it to you. You'll love it. We sure did when we got our hands on it. Behold, the fun-size forge. Pop a few raw materials on top, bash them with the porta-pounder, and bumps your uncle. New equipment. And I'm not just talking steel swords and the like. Wooden boomerangs, a natty new jerkin. You name it, this thing can make it. Sweating over a hot forge was never exactly my style. But I have a feeling you'll get more use out of it than I ever did. You can't just go smashing stuff together willy-nilly, though. You'll need the recipe for the piece of equipment you want to make. Here's a little something to get you started. You should strike while the iron's hot.
Right, so we've just been introduced then to Dragon Quest XI's crafting system. And the crafting system is an extraordinarily powerful system that's going to give us access to tremendously awesome equipment, especially later on. But for now, things are going to start off a little bit more simply than that, which is good, so that we can get a hang of the system as a whole. And we've got a couple of recipes from Eric here to get us started as well. And that's for bronze swords and divine daggers.
There are recipes hidden all over the place. Treasure chests and bookshelves are always a good bet. Keep an eye out and you're sure to find some beauties.
And he's going to give us the ingredients for these as well. Now, crafting in this game is actually a form of a mini-game. So you don't just have the ingredients, select, go, and then, you know, it automatically creates the item. It's a little bit more intricate, a little bit more fun than just doing that. And as we are instructed, we're going to have to go around and find more recipes, of course. So I'm just going to go and save before we craft. Okay, folks, so just a tip for you, actually. When you load a save game, you can't actually use the forge, the fun forge, for 5 minutes after that. So I did load my game then and had to wait 5 minutes before I could start recording again. But anyway, here we are. So this is how we go ahead and create weapons or armour or whatever the case may be. Accessories perhaps, but in this case we've only got the recipe for 2 weapons. And I am going to make both of them. So just to show you, we've got swords and knives. So we can create a bronze sword and we can create a divine dagger. And I do have the ingredients to make both of those already. So let's go ahead here. We can see the difficulty of the bronze sword is just half a star. So we should be able to make this without too much trouble. And you can see it's going to be a decent upgrade for Eric there. And that's just in its base form. If we craft this well, we could actually get that 40 attack it's going to give him up a little bit higher. Now, it is a downgrade for Fuzz, because Fuzz is using a greatsword. This is only a one-hander. So I'm not going to bother crafting it for him, because I've already invested points in the greatsword's skill tree. So we'll create one, and then Eric can have it. And the basics of crafting is as follows. You select the item. That will put the ingredients into the forge for you. And then what you want to do, you can see there's 3 bars on the screen. And that lump of orange is actually the weapon itself in its molten form. We're going to knock it into shape. And to do that, we use the bash option up here. And then we choose the section of the weapon we want to bash. And the idea is that we bash it until we move the bar into the green section. Like that, you see? And that's pretty much all there is to it. Now, it's possible that we can actually bash it successfully enough to get the bar to go yellow. That's where we get it slap bang in the middle of the green section. Now, to create an absolutely perfect weapon, we need to get 2 or more of those bars in the yellow. But don't worry so much if you don't do that. As long as you can keep the bars in the green, then you'll create a decent weapon anyway. So let's bash again. Oh, so I'm not going to risk bashing again because we'll probably lose the bar completely. Then we'll go onto the wrong side of the green. So I'm happy with one yellow bar. We can go to appraise and it will tell us what it thinks about the weapon we're about to create before we actually create it. In this case, it says it will turn out really well. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Let's go ahead and finish. The weapon will then be crafted and added into our bag. And it gets +2. Okay, so basically that doesn't mean +2 attack. That's the amount extra quality it gets, if that makes sense. So you can get +1. You can get just the base version, which is obviously +0. I don't even know if it says plus or anything then, it just says bronze sword or whatever. You can get +1 for a slightly higher quality, +2, and then the maximum quality is +3. So in this case we've got +2, which will increase the attack of the sword. And we also get 2 Perfectionist Pearls. Now you get Perfectionist Pearls every time you successfully craft an item. And you can use these for something else to do with crafting. I'll explain in a moment. But let's go ahead here and sort out what we're doing. So we can go ahead and create the dagger as well. Or the knife rather, the divine dagger. And I'm not going to be too concerned about how good this one ends up because we're not going to be using it. At least not immediately anyway. But obviously I still want to try and get it as good as we can. So we'll see what we can do here. We've put the ingredients in. And there's only 2 bars this time, as you can see. We could risk bashing it again. Okay, we'll leave it there. I was hoping to try and get it onto the middle for a nice yellow bar. But hey, no such luck. And we'll just leave that. So no yellow bar unfortunately, but we did create the dagger successfully, which is obviously in itself a bonus. So we get a nice success there again. And we get +1 this time since we got no yellow bar. And another 2 Perfectionist Pearls. Right then, so we've actually got 4 of those pearls now. I'm going to explain to you what it is they do. We can use Perfectionist Pearls. Again, we get those for a successful craft each time. To rework an item. Now what this does is it allows us to have the potential to boost the strength of an item we've already created. So we could have a bash at boosting the bronze sword. And by the way, it's actually got 44 attack instead of 40 because it's a +2. Now, if you fail when it comes to doing this, don't worry, you won't lose the original item and it will still have the same stats that it had before. So even if we fail at this, we'll still have a bronze sword +2. But we'll go ahead at reworking here, see if we can increase this even further somehow. And it's basically the same process. So we're going to bash the sword. And we'll see if we can get it into a yellow section. There we go. And then finally the last one. Oh, close. Close, but hey, not close enough to get 2 yellows unfortunately. And what this will do is it'll allow you to have a chance at increasing the item. Oh, look at that perfection. And that's now been boosted to a +3. And it doesn't require the original crafting materials either. So now we've got a really strong bronze sword. So we'll go ahead and come out of this menu at this point. And we get a trophy. Well, an in-game achievement for that. Oh, and a trophy. Big hitter. So once that trophy's gone off the screen, I can show you the item then. So we'll go ahead and replace Eric's dagger with the... We could go for the bronze sword, but sorry, the divine dagger, but we are going to go for the bronze sword. Sadly, his deafness does drop a little bit, but I'm happy to allow that to happen. Okay. And he's got nothing to equip in the right hand still. But there we go, so Eric's attack has gone right up there, which means that hopefully he might even be one-shotting enemies. You never know, but that would be pretty amazing. So, obviously, you're probably going to want to save at that point. But before we do that, let's go ahead here and just grab some stuff. So there's some barrels here we can nab, or break. and nab the stuff that's inside. Copper ore and flintstone and jug of fresh water as well. But also if we pop inside the cabin, there's a treasure chest with a recipe inside. So now that we've got introduced to crafting, we're actually going to be able to start finding recipes. Scale armour and shields as well. We'll check if there's anything on the bookcase. Okay, just a book to read. And I don't think there's anything else to do in here. Oh, there's some pots. Maybe we can break those. Yep. A small scale at least. Ah, and some more copper ore, which is useful for crafting since it is a material, of course, for crafting. Right then, so now we're going to head over. Let's go down the stairs here. To the east, but I'm just going to go and save before we do that. So I've just saved. If we head over to the east path here, this dog is going to stop us for a brief cutscene here. And it just says sniff sniff. It seems a little bit sad. So there's something going on here with this dog. We'll have to come back to it a little bit later on. So we're going to continue on heading east. We can see the quest marker is just at this plant here. So what's this about, eh? Let's find out. The mark on Fuzz's hand is glowing. It seems to be responding to the curiously shaped plant. Should we hold our hand out to it? The dog's come along for the ride as well. So let's go ahead and select yes to that.
Chop, chop, chop. Chop around the clock. 1, 2, 3, look out, trees. Oh, a woodcutter's life is the life for me. What in the world? I repaired the bridge only yesterday, and now some blighter's gone and destroyed it again. If I ever find out who did this, I swear I'll...
Ta-da! You called? Tricky devil at your service. I went to a lot of trouble to smash at this stupid bridge. I'm not about to let you fix it again. Here, get a load of my devilishly tricky shapeshift beam. Now that's what I call tricky. 1 minute you're a silly old woodcutter, the next minute you're a smelly old dog. I'm a devilish genius. Now, what mischief shall I get up to next? Oh, so much trouble to cause so little time. Bye, doggy. Stay. Ooh. An empty treasure chest. I think I've just hit upon my most devilish trick yet.
What the heck just happened? You touched that plant and then I saw all this crazy stuff. You really expect me to believe that this mutt here is actually the woodcutter? Huh. There's never a dull moment with you around. I'm gladder every day I broke you out of jail. Well, all I know for sure is that we're never going to get out of this forest until we get that bridge fixed. And if what we just saw was true, Rover here is the only one who can fix it. Why don't we find that chest and have a word with our mischievous friend? Let's head back the way we came and see if we missed it somewhere.
Okay, so in an interesting turn of events, it seems the woodcutter whom we're going to need to repair the bridge in order to access our destination has indeed been turned into K9 form. So we're going to have to head back up, you can see on the map there, to the pink exclamation. It's probably a good idea to save again at this point, because we do have, no pun intended, rather a tricky fight ahead of us. So let's just go ahead and make sure we're prepared for that. And I'm not sure if in the upcoming battle there's anything to steal, but I'll try and have a look for you guys, then I can say if it's worth the effort or not. But I would generally advise you with your hero to save your MP for healing, because yeah, you can use your your damaging spells and stuff, but as I say, there's going to be quite a lot of incoming damage. So we'll see how we get on here. The heck? I don't think I've seen a cow in this game before. It's a talking cow. Right then, so let's head up here. And don't be deceived by the inviting treasure chest.
Here come my next victims.
Yep, it's the tricky devil.
The one, the only tricky devil.
Hi.
Hey, you're supposed to be shocked by my devilish trickiness. No? Time for plan B then. Take this! Ha!
Seriously? The only thing I'm shocked by is how lame you are.
What did you just... Oh, cheeky devil! Don't you know who I am? I'll teach you. For my next trick, I'm gonna beat you to a pulp!
Yes, so here comes the battle itself. Now I'm just going to sort out my tactics here. I'm going to put everybody onto manual mode, because I want to try and steal with Eric. And I don't want Fuzz using the magic spells when we need to conserve his MP. So fortunately we've healed up at the campsite, so we've got full MP and health. One thing I want to mention as well before we get started here is you can see the circle's red, and the reason for that is because we can't escape from battle. So you don't often get to see these red circles up to this point. Obviously this is a story fight, so we can't escape, so that's what it is. Let's go ahead and try and steal. Okay, well there we go, look, he's got no items, so we can go straight into attack mode with Eric. Oh, I love that damage, 45. Thanks to the pepped up version of Fuzz. Hey, Eric's pepped as well. Well, that's going to be pretty handy, isn't it? So let's go to pet powers here. And we'll go for the real decoy. Nice, almost 70 points of damage there. Can't think he's going to be best chuffed with that, but... Okay, let's carry on attacking. Right then, what I'm going to do here is just go to tactics and change Eric back to normal automatic fighting. Oh, he has a heal spell, that's annoying. Yeah, we'll just carry on attacking. Right, the heal spell that Fuzz has does 25 points of damage, but looks like it's not needed.
Who else wants some?
Not too shabby at all.
This can't be happening. Looks like the joke's on me this time.
Hey there, you two!
It's our pal, the Pooch. Not anymore. Thanks to you, I'm back to my old self. I'm Flint the Woodcutter, by the way. And I owe you more than words can possibly say. How can I ever repay you? It's funny you should ask. We were hoping that some kind soul might fix that bridge the monster smashed up. It would be my pleasure. Why don't you go back to my cabin and put your feet up? I'll have it mended for you in no time flat. I was hoping you'd say that. Much obliged. Sorry to have kept you waiting, but I'm happy to announce that the bridge is fixed. In fact, it's even sturdier than ever. You don't hang about, huh? Thanks. You've really helped us out. Now, young fellow, about this vision of me being turned into a dog you saw when you touched that glowing plant. The more I think about it, the more certain I am. What you experienced can only have been the guidance of Yggdrasil. Does that mean anything to you? It's something my dear old granddad told me about when I was a boy. Yggdrasil is the giant floating tree at the center of our world, of course. The source of all life, as some call it. If the legends are to be believed, each one of its leaves represents a life, and its power preserves the peace and harmony of our realm. The glowing plant you found in the forest is actually a part of Yggdrasil, a piece of root poking through from beneath. It's said that the world tree can choose to communicate via her roots, but only with certain very special people. And that's what my granddad meant by the guidance of Yggdrasil. He was talking about just such visions as you saw. It's all coming back to me now. As a boy, I'd spend hours talking to the silly old thing, but did anything ever happen? Not a bit of it. But you, young man, you're different. You're one of the special ones, chosen by the world tree. And you've got great hair, too. Life just isn't fair. So not only are you the Luminary, you're also Yggdrasil's favorite little leaf, huh? Some guys have all the luck, I guess. Well, we can't stand around talking about how great you are forever. Come on.
Right then. So, another trophy achieved, the power of the Luminary, along with the guidance of Yggdrasil. So, learned a little bit of stuff about the hero there. He has the power to commune with the world tree, or rather the world tree has the power to commune with the hero. So here Flint is now back to normal, of course. He's no longer a doggy. And so it's probably a good idea to save at this point. If we go onto the map, we're going to be heading back to the Heliodor region in the bottom right corner of the map. So we're going to be heading back towards our hometown. But we're going to save that for the next episode, I think. So I'm going to call it quits here for today. Thanks for stopping by and joining me, folks. Hope you've enjoyed watching, and I look forward to seeing you again soon for more Dragon Quest. Take care, everyone. Have a good day.